I'm opening the meeting of the City Council business meeting on May 12th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Janelle, please do the roll call.
Jerry DiTullio. Here. Bud Starker.
Present.
Zachary Urban.
Present.
Christy Davis. Tim Fitzgerald.
Present.
George Pond.
Present.
Tracy Langworthy. And Ms. Wooden informed me ahead of time that she would not be here tonight.
Thank you. Any changes to the minutes of April 28th? Mr. DiTullio.
I move to approve the minutes of April 28, 2014.
I'll second.
And Mr. Starker has seconded. Thank you. Okay, we have several proclamations. Oh, we need to vote. All in favor of approving the minutes?
Motion carries 6-0 with Councilmember Davis abstaining.
Thank you. Now we'll move to proclamations and ceremonies. We have three proclamations and ceremonies tonight, and the first being for Denise Waddell. Denise is a very, very special person in our community, and she is retiring from her position at the bank, and I get to read this proclamation. Whereas Denise Waddell, president of First Bank, Wheat Ridge, Colorado, is retiring after being in the financial business industry for over 25 years, and Denise has established a deep relationship and provided quality service to her customers as well as the Wheat Ridge community. And whereas she was an original board member for Wheat Ridge 2020, serving from 2005 until term limited in 2012, where she had held positions of board member, board trustee, and board president. Whereas her involvement in the community also includes secretary for the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Metro Denver, board member for Red Rocks Community College Foundation, and advisory board member for Wheat Ridge Business Association. In addition, Denise has previously served on boards or volunteered for the Hispanic Chamber Education Foundation, Inroads Colorado, Center for Financial Training, Mia Casa, Denver Urban League, Public Education Business Coalition, and Colorado State University Career Center. Now, therefore, the mayor and city council for the city of Wheat Ridge do hereby recognize and applaud Denise Waddell for her many years of outstanding service to the Wheat Ridge community and congratulate her on her retirement. Denise, please come forward. This wonderful woman, she has given her professional support to our city, her information. She has served well. I guess as a bank president, she's been I believe what you call it, the support of the city. And when she moves that support away, there's going to be a little leaning, I can tell you that. She's been wonderful, and we really appreciate her. And we have a gift for her.
We do. I'd just like to say also, yeah, the city does its business banking with First Bank, and some somewhat complicated transactions also with some redevelopment projects in the city. And Denise Waddell and her staff have been very helpful and cooperative in helping to revitalize our community. Denise is definitely one of those community partners that is going to be very missed. You know, First Bank, the mayor read the proclamation. There's many great things in there, but it doesn't cover everything that I think that Denise has done for our community. They provide, First Bank through Denise's support has provided sponsorships for many of our community programs. And so just a terrific partner for our community. So we do have a gift for her tonight. This is a photograph taken by a local photographer, Scott Dressel Martin, and it's a local image of Wheat Ridge that hopefully you will look at fondly and remember us. So there you go.
It's really been my pleasure to serve this community. It really feels like home. One of my first jobs was actually at the Red Lobster right at 44th and Wadsworth. So I've been in this community a really long time, and so it's really fun to see all the things that are going on now, and I'm really going to miss. I won't be far. I'm just going to go away from the banking world for a while, but I'll still stay very involved in the community. So you'll still see me having pizza at Right Coast Pizza and shopping at Wheat Ridge Cyclery, and I'll be around. Thanks.
Very, very special lady. Our second proclamation is for the National Peace Officers Memorial Day. Whereas in 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation which designed May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which that day falls as National Police Week in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. Whereas there are approximately 900,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the City of Wheat Ridge Police Department, and whereas since the first recorded death in 1971, almost 20,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and have been killed in the line of duty, including 284 Colorado law enforcement officers. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their police department. Thus, let us reflect on their invaluable contributions as we enjoy the peace they bring to our communities, and let us vow that their service will never be taken for granted. Now, therefore, I, Joyce J., Mayor of the City of Wheat Ridge, Colorado, in recognition of the event, do hereby proclaim May 11 through 17, 2014 as National Police Week, and May 15, 2014 as Peace Officers Memorial Day. I encourage the community to recognize and honor the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. Chief Brennan, would you like to say something? Sure.
I'd like to just acknowledge the fact that in Jefferson County, we lost a law enforcement officer. Sergeant Dave Baldwin was killed in a motorcycle accident in late 2013. His name will actually go on the Law Enforcement Memorial Wall in 2015. But it's just a reminder of the fact that from a law enforcement perspective, although we've been very fortunate in the community of Wheat Ridge to have not lost an officer in the line of duty, we have lost officers in the line of duty in surrounding communities. And it's a reminder that, some days when officers, get dressed in the uniform and go out there to serve and protect our community, they don't have the ability to make it home. So in Wheat Ridge, what we try to do during Law Enforcement Officers Week, Peace Officers Week, is to celebrate the good work that our officers do in the form of an award ceremony. So our award ceremony will be tomorrow in the council chambers at 3:30, and you're all invited to hear about the exceptional work that the members of your community police department do on a day-to-day basis in Wheat Ridge. So I encourage council and the mayor to be there, and I encourage any citizens who would like to attend to come as well. I think the stories that you hear will warm your heart and will speak to the professionalism, dedication, and commitment that the men and women of the Wheat Ridge Police Department provide to this community day in and day out. Thank you.
He's a busy guy. He's got to stay here for the next one. This is our last proclamation, and it's called Click It or Ticket Mobilization. Whereas the use of seat belts in passenger vehicles saved an estimated 12,174 lives in 2012, and whereas regular seatbelt use is the single most effective way to reduce fatalities in motor vehicle crashes, and whereas the use of seatbelts is supported by the laws of the state of Colorado and the city of Wheat Ridge, May 19 through June 1st, 2014 has been selected as the National Click It or Ticket Mobilization Enforcement Period. Whereas across the city, law enforcement officers will actively be participating in the mobilization to ensure all motor vehicle occupants are buckled up day and night to reduce the risk of injury and death caused in traffic crashes. Now, therefore, I, Joyce J., Mayor of City of Wheat Ridge, do hereby proclaim and announce May 19th to June 1st, 2014 as the Click It or Ticket Mobilization in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, and urge all citizens to wear seatbelts when driving or riding on our roadways. Once again, Chief Brennan.
So during the summer, we have two major traffic events that the Colorado Department of Transportation actually gives us grant dollars to work. Click It or Ticket, which is designed to ensure that people are wearing their seatbelts. Seatbelts are the leading factor in saving lives and serious injury, and the heat is on, which deals with DUI enforcement. So we will be dedicating resources during the Click It or Ticket week, as well as during the holiday season, the Memorial Weekend, July 4th, and the Labor Day weekend, and other weekends as well, and other nights, specifically to the DUI enforcement piece. Now, I'd tell you when we were going to be out there doing all of this enforcement, but then you'd know. So, but we'll be out there on a day-to-day basis trying to educate and also do enforcement around these issues so that we can save lives. So thank you again for your commitment to the police department.
Okay, we are moving on to citizens' right to speak. The first group would be citizens who may speak on any matter not on the agenda for a maximum of 3 minutes. And please line up, and then we'll ask for your name and your address. Thank you. Carol?
I almost said good morning. It's been a long day. My daughter Britta and I are here to invite all of the members of the Wheat Ridge City Council, city staff, and the citizens of Wheat Ridge to the 2014 Leaves of Hope and Cancer Survivors Celebration. It's going to be Sunday, June 1st at Lutheran Medical Center, and we're excited to bring this event to the community again. I want to extend a special thanks to Patrick and the city of Wheat Ridge. You are our 2000 sponsor for the Kids Dash, and that's for the 6-year-olds and under. That's a free event, so be sure to join us for that. In terms of what the day will look like, we're expecting to have over 1,000 people. This is the largest National Cancer Survivors Celebration in Jefferson County, and we want to make it that way. We want to bring people to the city of Wheat Ridge. On the morning of the event, on Sunday, June 1st, we're going to start our day with a celebration survivors breakfast. That's at 7:30, and race registration. The race itself begins at 8:30. You have a choice of a 1-mile walk. Most people can walk a mile, so we'll encourage you to do that. Also a 5K and 10K certified course. Wheat Ridge Police is going to help us. Thank you for doing that with traffic control on the day of the event. And the neighbors that are impacted by traffic closures along 32nd are receiving a letter this week, so they'll know how they can adjust their travel plans accordingly. Our keynote speaker we're very excited this year is Chris Daniels. Chris Daniels, if you don't know him, is a Colorado Music Hall of Fame inductee, and a 3-year cancer survivor. And he, along with his band, the Kings, are going to perform live. So we're going to get the city rocking pretty early on a Sunday morning. Joyce, our mayor, Joyce J, has agreed to come introduce and kick off our Kids Dash. So that will be really fun. If you need information, you can call the foundation, and that number is 303-467-4801. I'm going to have Britta give each of our council people a brochure about the event, so you have that and can pass that along to your constituents. You can also go right to the website. It's www.leavesofhope.org, all one word, Leaves of Hope. We have some local sponsors, thanks to Wheat Ridge First Bank. Thank you, Denise, for your sponsorship. Kiewit, they're our construction company for our $16 million emergency department build out, and so they're one of our key sponsors. And then right here in Wheat Ridge, Tom Rip with Boat Ride and Rip is one of our sponsors. So that's just a few of our sponsors. So come and be part of this wonderful community celebration for our cancer survivors.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Eric?
Eric Wilson, 3743 J Street, and my last name is Wilson. I just want to come up here and thank council and city staff for all your hard work on the 38th Avenue improvements. I'm personally really looking forward to having a great downtown area with lots of local businesses to go support and shop at. So thanks, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Rachel Hultin at 4690 Balsam Street. My last name is spelled Hultin, and I brought my companion with me, my son Cade. Can you say your name?
I'm Cade.
All right. Cade and I are here tonight, just like Eric, to express our support for the continued investment in 38th Avenue as our Main Street destination. Since moving to Wheat Ridge, it is where we find ourselves wanting to go have dinner. And when we go, we do things like run into our neighbors and friends, and it makes us feel really connected to our community. We are really excited for Wednesday night to see the unveiling for the streetscape design plan. And I think once the community sees the vision that has gone into the designing, that there will be a lot of support and enthusiasm through the whole community. But I also want to recognize and thank the city and council for not just unveiling a streetscape plan that's happened behind the curtain. I want to recognize that this is a 10-year process that started in 2004 and 2005 with the neighborhood revitalization strategy. And out of that came the out of that came the decision to reshape 38th Avenue to make it a Main Street and community gathering place. In the last 10 years, there have been dozens of public community meetings with hundreds of the citizens of Wheat Ridge who've had the opportunity to participate and give their thoughts and input. Planning Commission and Council has taken, I think, over 12 different votes, even in the last 4 years on the 38th Avenue. And every time, the decision to move forward has been a majority vote. So I just want to recognize that I just am grateful for that opportunity that you guys have included the citizens, and that we're looking forward to seeing how it continues to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Shepard, Shepherd, and I live at 7 Twilight Drive. And again, I want to thank you so much, Council and Mayor, for taking the time to have further discussions on how the marijuana industry will impact the health of our children and our community. I believe this is a matter that should be assessed and evaluated on a regular basis, not just with Council, but also with our police department, our schools, our healthcare sector, and our community. I would like to share with you some of the science, research, and statistics regarding the impact of marijuana on our youth. I have citations and resources for the following information if anybody is interested. I'm grateful for the organization Smart Colorado. They are an organization, people from all different walks of life who are also concerned about the unintended consequences that marijuana will have on our youth. They've been working very hard to educate communities and educate individuals and citizens. And they've also been working very hard at the Capitol during this last session. One of their victories was working with the edible industry to get the stamp on the outside of products. So I continue to be grateful for their work at the Senate. The impacts of early marijuana use. Studies show that marijuana can permanently change and damage teens' brains. It affects the hippocampus, which is critical for learning and memory, and the prefrontal cortex, which governs complex decision-making and analysis. It also affects processing, memory, perception, judgment, and motor skills, also diminishing academic performance and motivation. Heavy youth marijuana users reduce their IQ levels as much as 8 points. The average age for the first use of marijuana is 14 years old. And in Colorado, marijuana, not alcohol, is the number one reason that adolescents are admitted to substance abuse programs. The message is that marijuana is being sold to our kids. And also during the 2012 vote, that was being sold to us as well when we voted, that marijuana is an all-natural wellness product, an herb that is not harmful, that it's safer than alcohol, and that getting high is an acceptable recreational activity. And recently, there's the articles in the Cannabist in the Denver Post and the Cannabis Cup that occurred just recently. The marijuana edible industry, huge multi-million-dollar industry that is growing. It's an estimated 30% of the market. Very few regulations, which I know we are all starting to work on throughout the city and throughout the state. But currently no limitations on the types of edibles that can be sold. They're made to be palatable and discreet, creating confusion with regular food and accidental ingestions. And just recently this week, it mentioned again in Children's Hospital, they're seeing an increase in the emergency room visits of children who are consuming edibles. They're marketed to be attractive to adolescents and children, infused, sprayed, and baked into food, and almost any food can become a marijuana edible. As I was looking through and reading some of the articles, goldfish, Swedish fish, lollipops, cookies, and even Fruity Pebbles come in the form of marijuana.
Your time is up.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Hi, my name is Amy Story, Storey. My address is 9860 West 34th Drive in Wheat Ridge. In anticipation of the unveiling of the plans for 38th Avenue, I also wanted to share some thoughts on the evolution of that street from the perspective of a citizen and through the lens of the Carnation Festival Parade. We moved into Wheat Ridge in 2005, and my family and I attended our first Carnation Festival Parade either that year or the year later. And I remember driving east by Lutheran on 38th and seeing the street closed at Wadsworth. And my husband and I both thought, boy, it's strange to hold a parade on such a busy thoroughfare. But our kids, who were 3 and 4 at the time, loved the bands and the horses and the people and the businesses marching, and of course the Shriners. From that year on, our children have affectionately referred to the parade as one of the few days a year when Mom encourages them to take candy from strangers. As you can imagine, we don't miss many of them. Over the past 9 years, I've noticed that 38th has increasingly felt less like an anonymous thoroughfare and more like a small-town main street. I think some of this has to do with our becoming more ingrained in the community, but I also believe that a part of that feeling is because of the evolution of the street itself. My kids remember buying their dad a bike for Father's Day at Wheat Ridge Cyclery, painting mugs from Teller Street Gallery at Wheat Fest, and having brunch after church at the Dragonfly. In fact, even though Dragonfly is gone, that location's still notable because one of their favorite babysitters works at Cataluma Chai. And whenever we talk about going out to eat, they usually lobby for the Colorado soda served at Right Coast Pizza. We kind of have a sugar addiction there. The parade itself is memorable. One year we sat across from the grandstand and realized that the announcer for the Shriners also owns our favorite car repair business. My son still remembers where he stood when he shook Congressman Perlmutter's hand. And last year, in the culmination of a dream, probably mine, we got to march in the parade for Compass Montessori. And after walking our 1.2-mile route, we hung out and saw more friends in and along the parade. We collected candy, and we thought it is possible to have small-town charm adjacent to the big city. Back in 2005, I couldn't see the vision the city had for 38th Avenue. Over the years, I've watched the street change, and I've been really excited about what I've seen. I'd like to encourage council to keep going. A friend of mine once referred to Wheat Ridge as a small town in between the city and suburbs. I love that description, and I think it's becoming even more true as we continue to build community and businesses and a central place for gathering and identity. I encourage this council to keep it going. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
My name is Tara Jan, Jahn, and I live at 3620 High Court. And I'm excited that it's summer because I get to come and harass and invite you all to our events and also all residents of Wheat Ridge. When I actually want to just kind of piggyback on what Amy said about it being a small town, because sometimes I find myself in East Arvada and it feels like such a big city, and I just want to, it's that feeling of being able to know who your city council people and your neighbors are. And so I appreciate the small town. And also kind of what Rachel said is my partner and I are approaching our 5th year as residents here, and it's from like 3 months after moving here, being able to be involved with Wheat Ridge 2020 and finding different leadership roles through that outlet. It's been really amazing to be able to be a resident here. So coming up, actually, if you're not familiar with Live Local Wheat Ridge, it's a community project that a couple other community members and I started with Wheat Ridge 2020 4 years ago, I think, and we host community-free events for residents from around the city. We try to make them family-friendly and for all generations. And so this coming summer, we have, again, our 3rd year for our Wheat Ridge Cruiser Crawls. We're going to go to, our locations haven't been chosen, but we either go to 38th or kind of stay on the east side of Wheat Ridge just because we don't want to take people across Wadsworth for safety reasons. So those are going to be the 3rd Thursday of every month, June, July, and August. I don't have a flyer, but we are also doing family yoga in the park again. Also, the flyers are online, but it's the 2nd Saturday from 9:30 to 10:30 of the months, except July, it's the 3rd Saturday. So please tell your constituents, we'd love to have you. And then for the first year, we are we're supporting First Friday Art Walk and starting an event called Friday Night Live, where we'll have a stage, 2 or 3 bands, we'll have live performance art, and encouraging families and friends and neighbors to all come and being able to come for the event on the green, but also be able to walk through to visit all the local businesses on 38th. So I have just a few flyers. They're more poster size, and so I don't have enough for everyone, but it would be helpful if you wanted to take some to your parts of Wheat Ridge, just because many hands make light work to be able to spread the word to all parts of Wheat Ridge. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other speakers? I don't see any others signed up. I think we can also, if any of you have cell phones, please turn them off during the meeting because it can be pretty disturbing to have one of those go off. We'd appreciate that. Moving on with our agenda, are there any changes to the agenda? Nope, seeing none, we'll go ahead and go forward the way it is written before us. We're going to start out with item number 1, which is resolution number 28, 2014. Mr. Pond, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Resolution number 28-2014, a resolution approving a 4-lot subdivision plat with right-of-way dedications for property zoned Commercial 1 located at the southwest corner of West 38th Avenue and Kipling Streets, case number MS-14-01. At issue, the applicant is requesting approval of a 4-lot subdivision plat for property zoned Commercial 1 and located at the southwest quarter of 38th Avenue and Kipling Street. The purpose of the request is to establish new lot lines and shared access to allow redevelopment of the entire 6.35 acre site.
Oh, we have another. Nope. Okay, do we have, I don't know that we have any staff on this. Do we do? We have a staff report?
Yeah, very briefly.
Thank you.
Just a brief summary. As Mr. Pond mentioned, this is a 6.35 acre site at the southwest corner of 38th and Kipling. The property is zoned C1, Commercial 1, so one of our fairly general retail office zone districts. It is in the process, as I think everyone at the dais knows, of being redeveloped with a future Sprouts Farmers Market, as well as a 64-unit senior assisted living facility. Both of those components of the project are being reviewed administratively relative to the city's architectural and site design manual, and they're both basically ready to be finalized and approved. We have found them to be in compliance with those regulatory documents. The subdivision creates 4 lots of different sizes. 2 of the lots don't yet have specific development proposals, but those will be the 2 lots at the hard corner of 38th and Kipling that would be designed likely for retail or restaurant uses. The plat also dedicates various easements for utilities as well as for access, as well as additional right-of-way on both Kipling and 38th. The right-of-way in the case of 38th is for strictly additional sidewalk and landscape amenities. And then on Kipling, there'll be both additional sidewalks that are installed as well as a landscape tree lawn, as well as a turn lane, an XL, decel lane for a portion of their frontage along Kipling. As I mentioned, the basic public improvements are the sidewalks and landscape amenities that are being installed on the adjacent streets. There is also substantial improvements being made to address stormwater and to convey that over to the Lena Gulch, which is very close by. As council is also aware, the city, as well as our Urban Renewal Authority, are participating financially in the installation of a portion of the public improvements for the project as a public-private partnership. As required by code, the Planning Commission did consider the application and provided the recommendation of approval unanimously at their April 17th meeting. And staff is supporting a recommendation of approval to City Council of the subdivision plat this evening.
Thank you. I understand this is a public hearing, and
If you can just indicate for the record that the public hearing includes the staff report that's just been given.
thank you very much. Did you understand that, Janelle? Great. Do I have any testimony from anybody or any public wishing to speak to the public hearing, to this item? And may I swear you in there, sir? As a speaker, do you swear to tell the truth in these matters? Just raise your right hand and say, I do. Thank you. There's nobody signed up.
Good evening. My name is H. McNeish with MVG Development. We're at 1509 York Street, in Denver 80206. It's nice to be back in front of you tonight, and thrilled to be continuing the dialogue on this project. And we're pleased to and appreciate the support we've had to this point. Let me just start quickly by acknowledging staff for their effort in working with us to bring this subdivision plat for your consideration. I just have to note, I think, because it's particularly refreshing that staff publishes a schedule that if you submit on a certain time and make resubmittals at a certain time, you'll go to hearings on certain dates. And not only is that published, but they adhere to it, and I think that's worth mentioning. We're pleased with staff recommendation of approval, Planning Commission's unanimous recommendation of approval, and the findings that our request is supported by the city's zone district and the subdivision regs. It's clearly a critical step putting this plat in place for our development and what we know will become a Sprouts Farmers Market, a Starbucks, and a 64-unit senior housing project. And we are actively marketing the remaining pad, which is known as Lot 2, for a compatible use. The reconfiguration of this plat, or the creation of this plat, has been deliberate. It's been deliberate for MVG to configure the 4 lots to match the development program. But I think equally it's important for the city relative to the dedication of right-of-way that's needed on Kipling and 38th to support the development plan itself. Again, we're excited about the project. We're excited to be partners with the city of Wheat Ridge. And with your approval tonight, we'll be able to continue our effort to reinvigorate this important commercial corner. Thank you. Happy to answer questions if you have them, either now or later.
Thank you. Does the council have either questions of staff or, I'm sorry, I didn't write down your name.
It's Mr. McNeish, yes, H. McNeish.
McNeish?
McNeish.
McNeish.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Are there any questions of council of either Mr. McNeish or staff? None. Okay. Any public comment? Nope. Then I can close the hearing. excuse me. And I need a motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to approve resolution number 28-2014, a resolution approving a 4-lot subdivision plat with right-of-way dedications for property zoned Commercial 1 located at the southwest corner of West 38th Avenue and Kipling Street for the following reasons. 1, City Council has conducted a proper public hearing that meets all public notice requirements as required by Section 26-109 and 26-407 of the Code of Laws. 2, the requested subdivision has been reviewed by the Planning Commission, which has forwarded its recommendation. 3, the subdivision plat has been found in compliance with Article 4, Chapter 26 of the Code of Laws. 4, all agencies can provide service to the property with improvements installed at the developer's expense, and with the following conditions. 1, the developer enters into a subdivision improvement agreement with required security prior to recordation of the subdivision plat.
And a second, thank you. Mr.
Second.
Fitzgerald has given us the second. Now, do we have any discussion on the motion? Then I think we can go ahead and poll the council. Thank you. Let's move on to item number 2. Once again, not once again, that'll be later. Mr. Fitzgerald.
I'd like to introduce Council Bill 04-214. This is a bill to, the applicant is Rocky Mountain Biosystems Incorporated. The gist of this bill is that it will redefine an existing ODP to include marijuana research. Just a little background on this. This is a medical research company that has been in our community for 8 years. Operating under grants from the National Institute of Health. And this is almost just a technical correction.
Good, all right. Do we have any any reports from staff? Nope.
No.
Madam Mayor, this is first reading.
Yeah, I know it is. Therefore, we can go on with the motion.
I move to approve Council Bill 04-214, an ordinance approving an amendment to the Youngsfield Plaza Planned Commercial Development Outline Development Plan to allow marijuana research and testing on property located at 3924 to 4096 Youngfield Street on first reading. Order it published. Public hearing set for Monday, June 9th, 2014 at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers, and that it take effect 15 days after final publication.
Second.
We have seconded by Mr. DiTullio. Any discussion on the motion? Please poll the council. Thank you. Now we'll move on to item number 3, which is also Mr. Fitzgerald, since he is a member of the Wheat Ridge Business District.
It is my pleasure to introduce a motion to appoint Janice Hopp as a city director to the Wheat Ridge Business District Board of Directors, term to expire March 31st, 2018. Council has the right to appoint 3 people to this board, and in order to maintain the cycle of appointments, we're appointing Ms. Hopp at this point. So, are you ready for a motion? Yes. Okay. I move to appoint Janice Hopp as a city director on the Wheat Ridge Business District Board of Directors, term to expire March 31st, 2018.
Thank you. I need a second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
I'm sorry, motion carries 7-0.
All right, we'll now have a motion to move to executive session before we adjourn. Oh, we got to go through all these. Boy, I don't have to. Okay, we have actually gone through all the business meetings, so we can go on to city managers matters.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a reminder to our citizens that on Wednesday, May 14th, from 5 to 7 p.m. here at City Hall at the council chambers, we will be having a open house to provide information about the 38th Avenue Streetscape conceptual design process. There is a presentation actually at 5:15, but staff will be here from 5 to 7 to answer any questions, but the actual presentation is scheduled for 5:15.
Thank you. City attorneys matters.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Elected officials matters. Mr. DiTullio.
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Starker.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Mr. Urban.
I'd like to just acknowledge the Boy Scouts that are here in attendance, and I believe you're working on your citizenship in the community merit badge, is that correct? Just want to thank you for your attendance and acknowledge your presence. Thank you for being here. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Ms. Davis.
Nothing tonight, thanks.
Mr. Pond.
Really quick, I just want to thank everyone who came and commented, and a couple of them were referring to a public meeting on Wednesday. I'm just happened to be on our city's website and linking to the details of that meeting, which will be from 5 to 7 p.m. with a 5:15 presentation here in council chambers. So anyone who's interested in 38th Avenue, the design and implementation or future of the street, please come to that meeting and share your feedback.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Nothing tonight.
Ms. Langworthy.
Just one small thing, because we next meeting isn't up on the dais, but May 23rd over at Hayward Park, which is just our park right out here, will be a Memorial Day celebration. If you have the time to come, it starts at 12. It's a very touching and moving celebration, and I think they have hot dogs after, but I wouldn't.
Yes.
But it might be really nice for people to come in and see what, how our city honors those that are veterans in our community.
Thank you. That is a great reminder, because that is attended by a lot of war veterans. It's very nice, and I do believe they serve some refreshments afterward. Okay, I think we can now move on to that motion to move to executive session.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to go into executive session for a conference under Charter Section 5.7B1 and Section 24-6-402 4B CRS, specifically for legal advice from the city attorney and appropriate staff concerning 32nd and Youngsfield construction contracts. I further move to return to the open meeting at the close of the executive session for the purpose of taking any formal action deemed necessary.
We can do that now.
I'll second that.
Oh, we need a second, right? Mr. Starker has seconded that. Do we need to vote? Please vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, we'll move into executive.